Hey there, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Diablo 4. This is the Casual Player Guide. I'm Captain Beefy, and this is the Game Vault. We're going to talk about Obols today. What are they? How can you hold more? What do you use them for? And what's a good way to farm them? So, let's cue up the music, and we'll get right to it. Alright, so Obols are a form of currency that you can use in the game, and there's a certain vendor you can spend them with that's located in some of the major, or I think all the major cities, and maybe the occasional smaller one, I don't know. I usually just go to the major cities when I want to spend my Obols. Now, if you look down here at the bottom, right underneath me, you see the two blue discs, those are Obols. I'm holding 1,000 of them. Now, you might not be able to hold that many yourself. If you want to see how many you can hold, just hit the left stick in, and it'll show you right over there. I have a max of 1,000, and I've got 1,000 of 1,000. So you can check your limit so that you don't go, you don't, because what you don't want to have happen is find more Obols and you can't spend them. You want to spend them when you get them, because they are very, very useful. And what they're used for is to trade in with the purveyor of curiosities. Now, this is a great way for you to target a specific aspect that you're looking for your character that you may want to pull off of a certain weapon or piece of armor. It's also a good way to target a specific piece of armor or weapon that you want. So what you do is you'll go in and you'll talk to them, and you see they have a variety of things for sale, including the Whispering Key. We'll talk about that in a second. But you can buy whatever you want here. And what I usually do is I wait till I have 1,000, and then I'll come here and I will spend every last one that I can targeting something that I'm looking for, right? So, right now, one thing I'd really like to have, and where is it? So I'd like to get some better ice spikes, right? And we can see that shows up on a legendary staff. It does show up on some other weapons too, and there are ways to figure out which one's best. We'll get to some different tools you can use to maximize your chances. But for now, I guaranteed that they show up on a two-handed weapon. So I'm going to farm the hell out of this staff and see if I get one that has a really nice drop on it. Maybe I'll get lucky, maybe not. So I'm just going to buy.
A bit of magic in that one.
There we go. That left me with 25 Obols. If I ever have any left over, I go down to the bottom and I buy a Whispering Key. Occasionally you'll come across something, a chest in the wild that requires a Whispering Key to open. I have not gotten anything amazing out of them, but I have gotten, rares and legendaries and so forth. So you never know. It's one of those things that maybe as you get higher and higher level, you might be able to get better quality items from. I don't know. It's, that's just a theory right there. I'll know as I get higher level. So let's take a look at what we got here. So we got a variety of staves. We have an ancestral one there, another ancestral, which, not so good. Got a sacred legendary, but I don't like the special ability on it. That's not the one I'm looking for. Neither is that. And neither is that. So this was a bust this time around. And, we just threw 1,000 Obols at this guy, and we got nothing that I really want out of it that I can see. Let's see. Sacred. Yeah. So whoop, that's the way it goes sometimes. But it's pretty easy to farm up the Obols, and I'll show you how I like to do it if I'm looking to farm it up. And I'm going to show you a spot in the very first area we're in here, the Fractured Peaks, where I like to go because it's fairly easy to do if you find a spot like this. But first off, let's talk about 1,000 Obols and how I got that many. So two ways to raise the maximum of your Obols. One of them is by progressing your renown to level 4. And if you look up on the screen, you'll see level 4 gives you 80 max Obols. You have 5 different regions you can do that with. 5/8 are 400, right? 5/80s are 400. That's 400 extra Obols from what you normally can have. You won't be able to do this until you're on World Tier 3, so if you're not on World Tier 3 yet, don't sweat it so much. The other way you can do it is by farming the Altars of Lilith, and this is what they look like once you claim them on the map. They don't show up on the map. We're going to do a video on how to find all those in the next couple days, so we'll talk about that and the way I went about getting them all. Altars of Lilith are very important. They'll do two things for you. They will raise your renown, and they raise it by, 10 per altar that you locate. As you can see, there's 28 in that region, 33, 34. So you're looking somewhere between 200, around about 300 per region, roughly, that you'll gain just by getting the Altars of Lilith, all of those. But a couple of them here and there have raise your limit of Obols by, I think it's 5. So it's not really that big of a deal early on. And it's really not big of a deal to raise it up until you're ready to get all your renown. It just gives you more options when it comes time to spend and try to target a certain item. Alright, well, let's go ahead and I'll show you the location I like to use. Alright, so right here in the Fractured Peaks, I like this location. It's just a little bit southwest of Nevesk, which is southwest of Kjovashad. So once you discover this area, this little region is very good for farming Obols. And I'll tell you why. You get them from these events that you see on the screen here. You see an event nearby, right? Whenever you see that orange circle, and you'll see it as you approach the event on your mini map up there. Once you complete that event, you'll get Obols in the end. Now, another way to get them is through these little sellers, they call them. Oh, let's go in real quick. I don't want to mess with those guys. So these sellers can also spawn events in them. They can spawn other things too, sometimes treasure goblins, very rarely. I have yet to have that happen, but you'll see as we get down here, there will be some kind of event like that other one. Usually. So there we go, seller's complete. That wasn't an event that time. But very often you're going to get events going on in these sellers. So it's nice to find a location where there's a seller and an event very close by. And I particularly like this region. Now, sellers, remember, aren't guaranteed to be there every time. There's a randomness to them. But you kind of get a feel for where they're located as you play the game and get familiar with the different regions. This is a nice one because you have this seller right here. And hold on. We gotta do a little more fighting, guys. I'm trying to make a video here. And then right over in this area, another seller can appear. Now, you can also get events occurring inside a dungeon. So sometimes you'll be in a dungeon, and you may have an event or two occur while you're in there. As you can see, we still only have 5 Obols because there was no event going on that time in the dungeon, or in the cellar. Now, it does take a little bit of time for dungeons to reset, about 3 minutes. That's why I like to do it near an event, because now I can play this event, and by the time I'm done, I'll be able to go back and do the little cellar again, and hopefully we'll get an event this time. We'll see. Yeah, events can be intense, and here's the thing: if you don't master the event, you're still going to get Obols, so you don't have to worry about mastering it every time. But it's better if you do, because you get more Obols. As you can see, we got the mastery on this one. Now we'll wait for the boss to appear. And we're done. Pop open the chest, and you'll see I'm getting 68 Murmuring Obols for that event. But I'm on World Tier 4, and I mastered it. So that's going to vary based on whether or not you master the event, and I'm guessing what world tier you're on, or maybe your level. I don't know exactly how it works. But, I threw that crap out earlier. But that's how the events work. And that's how you can quickly farm up quite a few Obols. As you can see, if I probably spent, I don't know, 30, 45 minutes doing this, I could probably get a good 800 Obols. And it's really going to depend on this. We're just going to check and see if there's an event in here. Or if it's even reset yet. I don't know if that was 3 full minutes yet. But of course, we could always go into that dungeon as well if we wanted to. You know, a variety of ways to get them. Yeah, no event this time either. Oh, and I died. So on that note, we're going to wrap up this episode of Diablo 4, the Casual Player Guide. As always, I'm Captain Beefy. If this helped you out at all, leave a like on it down below. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and ring that bell for notifications. I'll see you guys next time right after I get my vengeance. Until then, peace.